Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are, thank you for joining us. You've made a great decision to join the Home Court Design Podcast today. So we got a lot to jump into today, and as far as the NBA goes, I'm going solo here today, not joined by any guest analysts, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right into the NBA topics. Still kind of in summer, the training camp's going to be starting up here in the next couple of weeks, with the season starting in, I believe, less than a month, or about a month. Over the next couple of weeks, there are going to be a lot more topics to get into, so we're going to go ahead and jump into our first topic here on the Home Court Design Podcast. So let's check in. We all have jobs, and we all have places that we work, and when we go to those places, we're paid to do our job, and in reality, a business has to worry about the way that they look. You know, if I'm going to work for Google or I'm going to work for Apple, companies that get big notoriety and are very well known, like Facebook even, for example, if I used that platform to further my own agenda, that would rub a lot of people the wrong way. I mean, for example, if I worked at Facebook and I started saying, hey, I really like, Home Court Design. Home Court Design is going to be the best product design company in the next 5 years. And I started using the Facebook platform for that. You could be sure Mark Zuckerberg would be having a sit-down meeting with me and saying, hey, you need to knock that off because this is Facebook and we push Facebook here. So what am I segueing into? I'm segueing into the fact that it seems more so now than ever, at least I've noticed, that players in sports are voicing their opinions about political and social issues more so than ever. And really what I want to pose to the audience here is that acceptable? Are we okay with athletes voicing their opinion about different political or social issues using the NFL platform or the NBA platform? Because, honestly, and I know we're in the season of the NBA where there's not a lot of topics going on, so people, reporters and talk shows are reaching for all kinds of storylines. But, lately when I turn on ESPN or I turn on NBA TV or Fox Sports, it almost seems like I'm turning on CNN. It sounds like they're talking about so many political and social issues like, players' views on the president, when the NBA teams get invited to the White House and how some NBA players don't want to go to the White House, or you see it with these NFL teams like Colin Kaepernick who protests during the national anthem and now isn't playing for an NFL team, and everybody thinks it's all about all these political issues and things that he's standing up for. So I don't want to get it confused. I think that players should be able to protest their views because everybody's allowed to have an opinion. I have an opinion about tons of NBA topics, and I'm allowed to have those opinions. I have my opinions about political and social issues. But really, for me, where I think the line needs to get drawn is that these players are being paid by their respective leagues to play the sport and to represent the brand, and not to further their own political and social agenda. And I think that's really where the line needs to get drawn. I'm okay with these athletes building up their own brand and for them to become famous and become a household name through the NBA and through the NFL. But I think the players need to be, if they have strong feelings about political and social issues, it needs to be done through a separate platform, because the NBA as a brand will be affected by what these players say, good or bad. And again, I think it's okay that the players have their own opinion about these issues. I mean, by all means, voice your opinion, affect change. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now that people need to know about, and guys like LeBron James or Steph Curry are going to be able to further that movement. But where I disagree is when I am an NBA customer and consumer and want to hear all things NBA, and I turn on ESPN and all they're talking about is Colin or LeBron James' opinion on the president, or if I hear the guys on First Take talking about Colin Kaepernick not playing for an NFL team and how he's being affected by his political stance. It just gets too political for me, and I think that the players need to be able to voice their opinions on their own platform. And furthermore, the media needs to be able to control the content they talk about. Keep sports and politics separate. Okay, if the athletes have their opinion, they want to voice it on their own platform, by all means do it, but on your own platform. So that's my take on that, about should athletes voice their opinions on political and social issues. So my next topic I want to get into here is let's go ahead and start it like this. If I'm, again, building a brand, and we've talked about building a brand before, and just what's the biggest thing you need to do to get your brand out there and to get it to be a household name? You need exposure. You need people to be talking about you. You need people to when they turn on the TV or they turn on talk shows, you need content. You need a lot of content. And I think what this does for somebody who's building a brand is just all that exposure. It just gets it reaches people in all facets. And it just in all facets, and it's an important thing to do is to generate content. So, what am I getting at with that? Lonzo Ball just came out with his family came out with a new reality show called Ball in the Family, and pretty much what this show goes over is just the day-to-day life of the Ball family. With Lonzo, LeVar, LaMelo, and LiAngelo and their families. And just kind of what they're going through, with Lonzo going to the NBA, LaMelo playing high school ball, and LiAngelo going to UCLA. And then as well as building Big Baller Brand, but it goes beyond that. It goes into the family life for them. And really the question I want to ask is, is this going to help or hurt Lonzo's career? Is this going to negatively affect him? And really, I think I'm torn. I'm kind of split down the middle. I think it's okay and it's good from the perspective of him building his brand to generate this kind of content, but he needs to tread lightly. I think if this becomes too much of a distraction, because let's be honest, there's a lot of things in my personal life that I want to keep in my personal life. I don't want people to know everything about me. Not that I have anything to hide, but that's my personal life, and I want to keep it that way. With them doing a reality show for Lonzo and the family, I think what that does is it opens up everybody into what Lonzo and the Ball family are going through, and that could potentially create some kind of controversy even within the family. And I think they need to tread lightly from that perspective and not allow it to be a distraction. But if they use it as a tool, which, let's be honest, LeVar Ball has been pretty smart and strategic about the things that he's done to build the Big Baller Brand. If they use this reality show as a tool to generate content and to get people talking about Big Baller Brand and about the Ball family, I think this can be a great thing for them as far as building their brand. So again, I'm okay with the reality show as long as it's not a distraction to Lonzo and to the Lakers. That's the biggest thing. If he can go out and ball out, then everything is okay. And we've seen players like Lamar Odom back in the day when he was in the league. He was dating Khloe Kardashian, and they had the whole Kardashian reality show. And Lamar actually in that season had his best season. He won Sixth Man of the Year. So we've seen players go through it, reality shows, and actually play well. So I don't think it'll be a distraction to him. And I think, again, everything that LeVar Ball has done has been planned and strategic. I don't see this being any different. So that's my take on the Ball in the Family. It's actually premiering and playing on YouTube and on Facebook video, so you can watch it on those platforms. And there may be others. Those are the two that I know of. My last topic here that I want to jump into is the ESPN player ranking. So ESPN came out with they're starting to rank the top 100 players. Or actually, I think it goes even further than that. It may even rate every player in the league. I think it's the top 100. And there's been some controversy about I believe it's the ranking of 65 and 64, which shows 64 and 63, where it shows Carmelo Anthony at 64 and Lonzo Ball at 63. And the question is ESPN, are they completely off kilter with this and rating Carmelo at 64 and putting a rookie point guard, Lonzo Ball, over Carmelo. So the question is just that. Is Carmelo being disrespected in this? I'm going to have to say he is. Okay, Carmelo is not the 64th best player in the league. He's much better than that, let's be honest. Sure, Carmelo's got his shortcomings. He's not a great defensive player. He doesn't rebound well. He is 33 years old, I think, in that lower, getting to mid 30-year-old range. So he's not a young guy. But Carmelo is still a lethal weapon. He can score with the best of them, if not one of the best scorers in the league. Averages over 20 points a game. Carmelo can rebound when he wants to, and when he wants to, he can be an assist man. He's not always a ball stopper, even though he most of the time is. He doesn't always ball stop. He can, if he wants to get assists, he can, because he's just that good of a player. So is this a disrespecting rating for Carmelo? I think it is. I think it's crazy. I don't think Carmelo is the 64th best player in the league. I don't think Carmelo's top 10. Let's not get crazy. And he's not top 20. But I would definitely put Carmelo in that 20 to 30 range. And actually, the NBA ranking just came out with 30 through 11. And I'm going to list off the players that are in that 20 to 30 range, and we can decide if that's if he's better than any of those players. Kyle Lowry at 21, Kristaps Porzingis at 22, Mike Conley at 23, Blake Griffin at 24, Kyrie Irving 25, Kevin Love 26, Paul Millsap 27, Bradley Beal at 28, Marc Gasol at 29, and DeAndre Jordan at 30. Okay, there are a handful of guys in that range that Carmelo is much better than. Carmelo is better than Paul Millsap. He is better than Bradley Beal, and he is better than Marc Gasol. I'm sorry, he is. He's just better than those players. He should be in the top 20 to 30 range. That's clearly a appropriate rating for Carmelo. But other than that, these polls are they're just people's opinions. It doesn't mean anything. If anything, it gives the players an opportunity to prove these rankings wrong when the season starts. So they're still ranking the players for the top 10. We'll dive into the top 10 once they actually finish that ranking in the next podcast. So, but yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. Carmelo was way disrespected in this poll. So that does it for us at the Home Court Design Podcast for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please comment below if you got any questions or you want me to talk about anything in the next episode. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's at Home Court Design, or it's at Home Court Design 12 if it's on Instagram. And just a little bit again about Home Court Design and where we're at with the product design. So it's pretty cool stuff we're looking at right now. So we've been looking into just different types of sensors that are going to be going on the system, and it's specifically sensors that are going to be tracking position. We've been looking at inertial measurement units. We've been looking at Bluetooth beacons, and we've been looking at GPS receivers. So just some really cool sensors that are going to be doing some great things for the product. Can't wait to share more details with you guys next time. So from all of us at Home Court Design, appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend, and we will see you guys next time. Signing out.